The chairman of PASAID, Mr. Odrek Rwabwogo, has been involved in many corruption scandals. Recently, I talked about a land in Ishara, where he took a company, a Chinese company, to the president, and that company was given land 5 square miles to establish a beef factory in Ishara. Mr. Odrek Rwabwogo went behind the company, went to the Ministry of Lands, and changed the titles into his names. The project never took place at Ishara. Nothing happened. He's now the one who is grazing in that land. The same person is going to be paid $14 million US. $14 million US. How many billions are those? Judith knows the money. More than 50 billion. Yeah. Under a company called Thomas Farm Weshare Limited. This company, according to the records that we have in URSB, this company is as he said, Thomas Farm Company Limited, deals in supplying milk. But Mr. Odrek Rwabwogo went to South Sudan, got a contract, and said he was going to supply helicopters. You can imagine a company which was registered to supply milk. Now, this company wants to supply materials to the government of South Sudan. You remember there were some companies in 2016 that supplied materials to the government of South Sudan. And those companies came to parliament and they were approved. But for him, he went and requested the government of South Sudan to add his company, Thomas, which is not in the original document that was submitted to parliament and approved by government, that he supplied materials to the government of South Sudan, to the traders. Can you imagine? How do you supply helicopters to the traders of South Sudan now? And this gentleman has gone ahead to request the government of Uganda to pay him $14 million US. And then the government of South Sudan pays the government of Uganda. Are you seeing the confusion? You have supplied your helicopters using a milk farm to the government of South Sudan. And now you want the government of Uganda to pay you. And then the government of South Sudan pays the government of Uganda. If you supplied the government of South Sudan and you are not in the original agreement, why don't you go to South Sudan and you ask them to pay you? So we want to ask the Ministry of Finance not to pay this money, because one, It is illegal. We do not know, even if we know that Mr. Odrek Rwabwogo supplied helicopters to the government of South Sudan, let him go to the government of South Sudan and they pay him. But the information we are getting from the Ministry of Finance is that this gentleman is going to be paid this money. They are in the process of paying him. So to us, we believe that this is corruption. We want to request the government of Uganda, as the CDF directed, no government agents, not even local governments, should deal with PASAID, because according to what I have discovered, PASAID is an illegal entity.
Yesterday, I was seeing off international visitors who had been with us over the weekend and was notified that one of our officers had been picked up. And I quickly went through all the security agencies, police, DIS, SFC. I hope you know those acronyms. And I wasn't able to find where he was, so I drove to Entebbe. I met the president, and the president told me that he was not aware, given no order, of the arrest of this officer, and that he was going to try and find out what the story is and the circumstances of his arrest. What was important is that he did not order this and he wasn't aware. I would have been surprised if he had done that, because the record of President Museveni over the last 40 years is there is no arbitrary arrest. There's a due process. We follow the law. At PASAID, we follow the law. Where we've had incidents of things of insults leveled against us, lies, we do our best to stick within the law. We pick the evidence, we go to the relevant institution, because we truly believe in the constitutional rights and obligations of both government and citizen. Because I was a young boy in the Constituent Assembly, as a young reporter like you, but I was swallowing in everything every day for that 1 year. And I know that we made that constitution very deliberately to deal with the past issues we had had. So some of us fight hard to stay within the law, stay within the constitutional obligations. So I did not establish where he was, but at least we were very sure that this arrest had not been ordered by the president. Now, so I went to his family. I had a meeting with his mother, who is in advanced age, who has been unwell, with his wife, his son, his sisters and brothers, spent time with them, prayed with them, assured them that we will produce this officer in due course. So I just wanted the first thing to appeal to all the friends of PASAID, particularly the friends of Mr. Bagonza, to know that we are working around the clock to have him out, find where he is, and make sure that he's safe and returns in a good mode. That's my priority now in the last 18 hours. And for those of you who know him, to keep him in prayer, keep his family in prayer. So this morning I established that he will be brought to court soon. So we've told our lawyers for PASAID, they were here this morning, to prepare for whatever the charges will be, and to try and locate which court, which police station he might be brought to. And so we wanted to brief the country that we keep working to make sure that one of our own is released and presented to his family safe and sound. That's my priority and the priority of the staff of PASAID. The second issue to speak to you about is, in the same vein, we saw social media communications that say PASAID is an illegal organization. It should not deal with MDAs, agencies of government. So we want to tell you that that's absolutely, I don't want to use a harsh word. It's not true. PASAID was commissioned on 16th of March 2022 with very specific mandate on open markets, because we brought these ideas. We are among many agencies, but we are kind of, without blowing our trumpet, we know what we do and we do it with all our heart. Because we don't do it for anybody, although we report to the president. We do it for God and our country. The president who appointed us, who gave us a mandate on 16th of March 2022 and renewed it by locating us in the president's office on 25th of May of the same year, is the only one who can say you are no longer in operation. I asked him yesterday, he said, I have not issued an order of that nature. PASAID, go and work, go do your work. Huh? Okay, first of all, I speak on behalf of PASAID as an institution. The advisory committee and its secretariat is really what I speak for. And there are some questions which should be answered by the people who have posted those pictures, which, in my opinion, should not be in our ambit. So I really don't know the circumstances under which the pictures were taken or posted, but for us as PASAID, we stick to the law. We stick to the decorum. We stick to the rejection of humiliation of anybody or undermining the human integrity and dignity of anybody arrested, because our law says that you're presumed innocent until proven guilty. And so I am not sure that as PASAID we know the circumstances of the picture. We stick to two important things: follow the law, to make sure that our personnel, our officer returns safe and sound, and that we can go to a court of law if there is any charge, and he defends himself, and if any charge has anything to do with his work at PASAID, this institution comes out forcefully because we're extremely transparent people. We don't hide what we do. We don't speak behind anybody's back. When you are absolutely innocent, when you walk light, you need to know who I am. I'm a child of a peasant. I would never have been to school if my parents had not become born-again Christians. They learned human dignity and integrity and unity, and rejected cultural constraints, tribes, stereotypes, and they raised us lightly. So what we do, we don't do it for human beings. We do it because we have another witness above human beings called God. We don't hide our faith. And so what is arrest? Any person is a candidate for arrest, whether it is false allegations or truth. What we want is follow the due court process. Both how you arrest, how you charge, how you try. That's how a country's democracy improved. So I will disappoint you. I don't read those tweets. I don't read, I am not on the same group with them. Some people sometimes send them to me. When I reckon that it's a heap of rubbish, I don't need to answer. When it is life-threatening, like now one of our officers, that's what we are doing. We follow the law. When there is some grain of truth, we refer them to our lawyer. That's what we do. we keep our heads and our eyes focused where we are going. One is that we are regularly, daily in touch with the president, who we elected, who we saw in recently, who appointed us. And I have had a conversation with him. I will ask him to speak to this issue. So per se, it's not a private entity. It's not even a private entity. You don't wake up and say, staff, no more business now, go home. You have to pay their salaries. You have to pay the landlord. Yeah? So please ignore these things. Our work continues, even if there may be obstructions or perceptional problems. We take those as very good stepping stones for our own growth as leaders.